Yes, indeed. Music in the background coming from the band Roots Anabo. Roots Anabo. And like I said before on our Facebook page, today we're gonna put all the heavy stuff aside and wind down with music, love, vibes, sunshine, culture, roots. Yes, many years ago, there was a band in Ghana, a reggae band. Even though they chose to call themselves, even though they chose to call their music Sun Life, and we'll get to know why they did that. But this band was one of the first African reggae bands, if not the first, really, in 1984, to play the Reggae Sunsplash in Montego Bay, Jamaica. Many years down the line, the group is really not there anymore, much to my disappointment and my chagrin. But some of the members keep making music. One such is Echo Alabi Savage. Echo Alabi Savage is joining us from Germany, where he's been living for the past few decades. And we'll be going back into the days of Roots Anabo and making a journey down till we get to where he is at right now, playing music still. Music that he calls Sun Life music. What is Sun Life music? Echo Alabi Savage will join us soon. Echo Alabi Savage was born Emmanuel Brown. Sounds like an Englishman right there. Yes, Emmanuel Brown on the 28th of March, 1957, to the late Isaac Tercy Brown and Madam Adjoa Amonu. Putting down my fancy accent right about now. He went to school in the ghettos of Aboseokai, Kaneshi, and Mataheko in Accra. Echo says he hustled around the Ghanaian capital, completing Bishop Boys School, Bubuashi, after which he undertook a short course at the Kaneshi Technical College before taking up his childhood dream, full-time music. Echo Alabi Savage belonged to the Young Pioneers. Wow. This man is loaded. Yes, indeed. He was one of the Young Pioneers, Kwame Nkrumah's own Young Pioneers. The elite youth club formed by Ghana's first president, Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, to nurture them into conscious and responsible Africans. Let's see what Echo has done with his indoctrination from no less a person than Kwame Nkrumah himself. Right now, coming on the line, joining us on the line straight from Germany is the man. Help me to welcome Echo Alabi Savage. One love, Echo.
Yes, my dread, Kwesi. How now?
One love, man, one love. So how are things?
Yeah, Jagide, everything crazy, everything nice, music every time, music.
Yeah, man. I heard you were in the studio a short while ago.
Yeah, we were in the studio recording with some friend of mine from Nigeria. He's doing like Afro pop, so he wanted some drums. So he called on me, and yesterday and today we've been in the studio for about 4 hours studio already.
Ramming down the rhythms, I can imagine.
You know that. Because of the interview, we had to kind of cut it short, so we continue tomorrow.
We really appreciate that. That actually sends goose pimples on me right now. I really appreciate that. And I also want to tell you that we actually intend to spend practically the whole hour with you, because we don't want to just brush and gloss over your music and go away. We want to know who Echo Alabi Savage is and your journey from back in the day till right about now. So I hope that's okay with you.
Yeah, I'm fine, man. I'm
Fantastic.
ready.
Okay, so let's set the ball rolling. You were born 22 days after Ghana's independence.
Yeah, so...
Interesting. You were a young pioneer. Tell
Yeah,
us
yeah,
what was growing up in Ghana like in those days? What was Ghana like?
yeah. It's like during the independent era, I was kicking in my mom's stomach.
Mm-hmm.
My mom said in Takoradi when Osagyefo Kwame Nkrumah was announcing in Accra, they were all on the streets jubilating, whilst me, I was kicking in the belly.
Mm-hmm.
So after I was born and life went on, so I grew up in Takoradi, like to my primary school. Then we moved to Accra.
Mm.
So when I was 7, I was in Accra at Osu, and I saw a lot. Everything was, nice, and we were going to school free, and that's where I started my music in the school at Osu Primary School,
Mm.
where I started playing in the school band and in the cultural troupe, dancing, and all kind of things.
You were a young pioneer. I'm very interested in your days as a young pioneer.
Yeah, when I was 8 years, I joined. Because we were playing school band, like the school marching band, and so we were recruited to the Young Pioneers in Osu. So I was a young pioneer. I put on the ash costume with the red scarf, the red scarf with the red, gold, green there, black star. And we were free. We got everything free. We were working, learning music. Actually, we had an English music teacher at that time. So I always say Nkrumah was ahead of time. Kwame Nkrumah was really ahead of time.
Most definitely.
He wanted us all to know what music was. If you want to do engineering or carpentry, everything you want to do, you go into it deep. So at 8, I was already in the Young Pioneer playing side drum, like what you call the snare drum for the marching band.
I see. So Kwame Nkrumah was a lover of the arts. That's one thing everybody says about him. He actually tirelessly promoted the arts. But, he was unseated, unfortunately, after a few years. And most people say the arts has never been the same since Nkrumah's time. What was the music scene like when you were growing up? And how has the music scene evolved? How would you compare those days and now and in between? How would you compare?
Yeah, you can't compare those days to after Nkrumah to now, because, Osagyefo did the Institute of African Studies at Legon.
Yep.
For music, art, acting to the level of into movies, you understand?
That's right.
And then, I was 9 when he was overthrown, and all I felt was somehow, as a kid, I didn't know what was going on.
Yeah.
My father and his friends were all angry and crying and saying, "Oh, what have those people done to us now? They are bringing us back to where we didn't want to go." So from that time, I remember as a kid, we used to watch black and white TV. We saw Lord Kitchener, Louis Armstrong, E.T. Mensah, the Broadway dance band, the Uhuru dance band, police dance band, armed forces dance band. Whole lot of good music was playing around. Radio was playing music. Musicians were respected. Osagyefo even sent most of our people like Teddy Osei, Ankrebo Taylor.
Yep.
They sent them to London to study music. That's what I remember. As I was growing up, I saw people talking about it.
And it seems like there was a lot of live music back then. It was raw talent. You couldn't fake it.
It was live music, man. Everybody came to Ghana. Chubby Checker. Oh, man. I called Louis Armstrong already. Chubby Checker came to Ghana. Muhammad Ali, who was then Cassius Clay, came to Ghana. Martin Luther King, Malcolm X.
Yep.
Everybody came to Ghana. Mugabe was in Ghana studying at Winneba, political science.
That's right.
Everybody was in Ghana. So Ghana was ahead of the world. Before, who is China or Malaysia or South Korea or Japan? I mean, even Europe was behind time. When I just came to Germany, there was a lot of old students from Guinea and Congo who we met, and they were telling us when they came to Europe, they used to say they are all from Ghana because Ghana was on top of the world. Front page on their newspapers was Kwame Nkrumah at the United Nations, Kwame Nkrumah at Commonwealth. Africa was in front because Saharatv was leading Africa to a different level. But
All right.
4th February '66, we got the break. The break of return to nowhere.
Exactly. A roundabout which basically has been a very unfortunate incident in the history of Ghana. Stick a pin, people. We'll be right back with Echo Alabi Savage. In the meantime, this song is from the group that he helped found, Roots Anabo. And the song is called Singing in the Name of the Lord. We'll be right back with more from Echo Alabi Savage.
Yes, I.
We're singing in the name of our Lord. Little children sing in the name of our Lord. Little children sing in the name of our Lord. And we're singing, walking in the name of our Lord. Ooh, let one God be our aim. As I trotting on to one destination. One people, one kind. We're riding on your name, the creation. One gallant gonna be our flag. As I trotting on your red, gold and green. One people, one color. We're trotting on your name till iration. So help we out, far right with singing.
Singing in the Name of the Lord from Roots Anabo. Yes, man. Now on the line, we have Echo Alabi Savage. Echo Savage says he learned the hard way on the streets of Accra. As a gifted musician by birth, he, like many other young talents, was discouraged by his mother and his grandmother, who did not like the idea of him doing music. On many occasions, the stubborn Echo had to run away to go play music. He used to go to Twe, I'm sure.
Well, Opera Square can it be? Yeah,
you know that one there. On many occasions, yep. He played with, he started playing music as a drum roadie for Pat Thomas and the Sweet Beans Band. He later graduated to be the percussions player for the band. And he was also playing in an Aladura church. In 1978, he left Ghana for Germany, and in 1982, together with some ghetto friends, he calls them ghetto friends, they formed the band Roots Anabo and toured the world, playing their brand of music, which they named Sun Life Music. The music comprised of jazz, high life, funk, reggae, African traditional, and world rhythms. In 1984, Roots Anabo performed at the Reggae Sunsplash Festival in Montego Bay, Jamaica. While in Jamaica, they teamed up with Glenn Brown, a jazz bass player, and Third World's Ibo Cooper to record songs for the album Civilization in the Tough Gong Studios of Kingston. Wow. What haven't you done, Echo?
Adio.
So anyhow, tell us about your days as a roadie for Pat Thomas.
Oh, yeah, it was the only way to get close to music, you know, like, because we're not from Dadaba, you know, when some of my friends in Awudomi Estate and cantonments, they all had guitar and drums and things at home, but, excuse me, it was not easy. So the only way to get close to instruments was to join a band as a road. And as a matter of fact, as a kid, I knew the Broadway dance band because my auntie, may his soul rest in peace, Auntie Fanny, was the girlfriend of the manager of Broadway dance band, which was, Thomas was the lead singer, and Ebo Taylor and all those guys were there. So the only way was to go close to Pat Thomas on holidays. You know, I used to go to Tiptoe and visit them while he was playing the Blue Monks band. Yeah,
So you also played music in a church, right?
Yeah, that's how I started because my grandmother was actually we have Nigerian. My grandmother is half Nigerian.
Okay.
From Yoruba side, you know. So
I see. Is that where the name Alabi comes from?
Yeah, Abiyokuta.
Fantastic.
So, the Aladura Church came from Nigeria to Ghana, and they were in Takoradi. So that's where we all went to as kids.
So what impact, what influence did playing in the church have on your art right now? A lot of great artists have come through the church. In your own case, what influence would you say the church had on your music?
They actually, it's a God-gifted talent, and through the church I found my talent, and even my grandmother and my mother. At long last, when they didn't want me to play music, they thought, Fraba, when he was a kid, like 4 or 5, I used to love to play, and I was playing like maracas and cowbells and the small bongos with the band in the church. And, you know, it was good because anytime they don't want me to play, I cry the whole day. I go outside the church. So the Osofu told them to let me play then. So that's how I started. And I grew up to play the congas, and I was in the church too.
Primarily, your basic instrument is the drums, right? Like drums and percussions.
Yeah, that's how I started, you know. I played the percussion, all percussions and drums and a bit, and then later I took a bit of guitar and a bit of keyboard to write songs for myself. And I was singing in the church too, not the choir, but I was a good singer, you know. So everything came through the church.
I see. And then that matured into what became Roots Anabo, the legendary Roots Anabo. Tell us about Roots Anabo. How was Roots Anabo born? How did it all come about?
Yeah, it was like a long but short story because there was a time they used to have pop chain in Ghana.
Yep, that's right.
Students pop chain. So we gathered. There was a school, Emit Electronics, Emiteco for Mateko there. Yeah, I think you know Emit.
Yeah, yep.
Yeah, so some students there had a group and they didn't have a drummer and a singer. So me and Sammy Quist, know the guys. So they said, "Oh, Charlie, you guys will help us." So Sammy would sing and play guitar, and I'll play the drums for them to go and play at the pop chain. But they didn't have no name for the group to play. So we said, "Oh, then what name can we take?" So Sammy came up and said, "Oh, Anabo." Without the roots, we said Anabo. So we went on the pop chain as Anabo.
Anabo meaning?
Anabo is gone.
Yeah, meaning?
We've seen you.
Okay.
Yeah, when it's a plural, like Anabo.
Yeah.
All the guys, we've seen you.
Yep.
Actually, we didn't think of anything, but we just said Anabo, and we used to like Osibisa music. And Osibisa had a track also called Anabo. You know, Mastonto wrote it. So we were like, oh, Anabo, eh. So the guys at Aveno and all those areas we used to go and hang out, they started supporting us. Anabo, yeah, Anabo. So that's why we were rehearsing at Aveno, and sometimes we go to the school. So that's how it started. Then we couldn't play a lot after the pop change. Actually, we were disqualified because the story is
for fielding mercenary players.
Yeah, we were disqualified because Mr. George Pra, who used to be the producer of Pat Thomas' Gapophone, the records, Don't Call Pat Thomas, he was in the judges. You know, he was one of the judges. So we went up to semi-final, and then we hit that time we played Osibisa's song, Welcome Home.
Yeah.
We belong to the place.
Yeah, that's right.
Then after the main song was Madame Fupa Beko. Madame Fupa Beko Jamina Mayeni Deni.
Yeah.
So Kofi Annie Johnson and the Parrots. So we played it so good that the guy was like looking and I was trying to hide. So they were talking after they were judging, the guy said, oh, you know the drummer. He's more than a semi-profi. He works with the sweet beans already. Oh, Charlie. So we're supposed to be winners. So our supporters came from Aveno shouting. Anyway, we lost because of me. Not even Sammy, because of me. We lost.
Yeah.
We're not in the finals. But we got popular, and then we kind of hold the group together. So we used to hang out at Apollo Theater. Those days, they used to have afternoon session for bands. People come to eat, like work on break, midday break. They come to eat fufu and things. So we started playing there, like afternoon bands, you know. If a band plays and he goes on break, the manager there will say, "Oh, Charlie, and you and your guys go and perform." So we used to play, and then people started loving us. They say, "Oh, you guys are doing good. You have, people coming from America." And
so how old were you guys then? What was your age range around that time?
Actually, I was then 17. 17.
Okay, and that was the beginning of Roots Anabo. How did it really consolidate? How did it, move from being?
Then the story was like after there was this kind of Pat Thomas and the band were supposed to travel to Europe, and then they didn't have a percussion player. So Pat Thomas said, "Oh, but my boy plays percussion, so we can take him along." As at that time, I didn't even have a passport, my brother. So the guy who came to pick them to Germany did my passport, and then they took me on a trek to Europe, Holland, Frankfurt, Amsterdam, Frankfurt, Berlin. We did a few tours, and then we went back to Ghana. So we were coming off in and out, like 78 we came, we went back 79. After that time, Samuel Chris was in Nigeria with Girardo Pino's band. There's this guy called Girardo Pino. He just passed away too last year. He's from Heartbeats. He came from Sierra Leone to Ghana and Nigeria. So me and Sammy, we were corresponding by letter-wise. There was no mobile phone, no internet at that time. So we used to send telegram and blah, blah. So I sent Sammy telegram, say, "Charlie, I get chance to go Europe. So if I reach, I'll go keep in touch." So I kept in touch. Then 79, I came back in February. And then Sammy too went to Ghana and followed up in October. So we kind of met here. This is how we started the Roots Anabo. But before we were playing with the Ghanaian guys like Jotako.
You're saying Sammy came over to Germany?
Germany.
Okay.
Yeah, he came here.
So
he made some money in Nigeria, so he came with some few musicians to join us here.
Okay, so I'm correct to say that Roots Anabo was actually founded in Germany, even though it started
It started in Ghana,
but it got consolidated in
Germany.
In Germany. And then I would also be right by saying that yourself and Sammy Quest or Sammy Nupese are the actual founders of Roots Anabo.
For sure.
Okay. All right.
Sure.
You called your music Sun Life music. Where did you get that term from, and what's that? What does it mean? What's Sun Life music?
Yeah, it was like when we came, we didn't start Roots Anabo yet. We were playing in different bands with Bob Fishin, Joe Daco. We were playing, everybody was playing copyright. And with us, when we started, we always loved to play our own music, style of music. So we thought reggae was very popular in the world. Bob Marley was on, everybody was happening. So we thought to play reggae. So we chose to play reggae and found all about reggae. And then whilst we were playing reggae, actually, we were here when Bob passed away, 81. So nobody, it's like the whole Europe of reggae is finished. They say, oh, if you play reggae, nobody, Bob Marley, you know how they commercialize everything.
Yep.
So we started playing our own style into the reggae. Then we start playing Adowa reggae, like singing in the name of the Lord. The rhythms are not straight reggae. It's more like Adowa and Agbaja mix.
Yep.
So we started playing this type of style in our practice room, jamming. Then we thought, it's not high life, it's not reggae. But we missed the sun so much that we thought our music brings the sun to the people, because everywhere we play apostolic jazz and all those songs, people really dance, and it's all the Oyibo, the white people in Swiss, in Holland. Everywhere we go, people were jamming. So we thought, wow. I said, Charlie, this music, we go call them sun life. It's not high life, it's not reggae, it's sun life music. There is some sun energy we brought from Ghana. That's brought the name.
I see. I've always wondered where the name came from. Now, listeners, you know what Sun Life music is. Now, you also changed your name from Emmanuel Brown, which to me sounds like a Scottish man, to Echo Alabi Savage. And Samuel Quest changed his name to Sammy Nupese. And there was a McLean or something like that in your band, right? There was some other dude with a English name.
William Casely.
Casely. Where you guys got all those names from?
Yeah,
anyhow, did he change did he change his name too?
William Casely, no, he didn't change it.
Okay, but my question really is, what was going on there? Was it like an overwhelming sense of Africanness, like Afro pride? What was going on? What was really going on in the band at that time?
You can say that we were getting more conscious to our roots, like, seeing Emmanuel Brown and he come as a black man, Charlie. So I thought, anyway, we used to always, we all in my family have a Yoruba name between, like Modukwe, my grandmother's name, and my mother have her own, and I had Alabi, but I never used it. So I thought this time, instead of Emmanuel, I would say Echo, then Alabi, and then the Savage I adopted from my grandmother still, because she was a rebel.
Explain, because that's where my interest really lies. Savage. I remember as a boy, when I heard your name, I was like, wow, that is the Rasta man. He's called Savage. Explain, where does the Savage really come from?
Actually, 2 years ago, I went first time to Nigeria to play in a jazz festival, and I had time to stay for about 6 weeks. So I went to find the roots of Savage, which came from Abeokuta. So I met the family tree, the person who was handling where it came from. The name came from Scottish man. Like it said before, Savage.
I knew there was something Scottish about you.
Yeah. The name Savage was adopted by our great-grandfather, great-great-grandfather, who was the father of my grandmother.
Yeah.
So he was working with some Scottish people. They left Nigeria to Sierra Leone. And those days, if you work with the Oyibo for a long time,
you adopt their name.
Yes.
Yep.
So the guy, the daddy came back to Nigeria with that name, Gabriel Savage. Yeah, but Gabriel Savage was a great lawyer who was also a rebel. And I think the family was friends of Ransom Kuti.
I see. Wow.
The father, a friend or like a family friend of Fela's mother. They used to rebel against Oyibo, against the British people, before they brought him as a lawyer to Cape Coast, to work.
I see.
But when
All
he
right.
came to Cape Coast again, rebel, so I thought that name fits.
Yeah. That makes a lot of sense to me. I mean, if you were to change
Yeah.
a name to adopt any name, I would totally endorse what you chose. Now let's move
Yeah.
on. That we will try to cut it bits because we still have a lot to do, a lot to cover, and time is already fast spent. So we'll speed it up a little bit. But yeah, I remember seeing your concert at the Kumasi Sports Stadium. I forgot exactly when. I think this was in the 80s. I had this overwhelming sense of consciousness emanating from you as I watched Nupese tearing it apart on his atenteben and you on the drums and all the stuff that was going on. And those were the days when Rastafari was still a thing of, people were not too sure what it was. It was like an obscure kind of thing. But we saw you as a Rasta band. Was there a Rasta ideology in the band at all? Or it was just by chance that some of you had locks, etc.?
No, it was there, and it's always there. It's been with us to eternity. We found it here through some brothers who came from Jamaica, and they were giving us the story. And then we follow. We thought what Rasta was saying was close to what our doctrine was, like Kwame Nkrumah's message, Marcus Garvey, and all about the black consciousness, and we found that Rastafari or Rastas or Rastafarianism was preaching more a message that goes close to Africa than any other. I wouldn't say religion, but any other
Culture, if you
struggle,
want.
culture,
Movement.
you should say. Movement. So actually, we went to Jamaica. I mean, God so good, we had chance to go to Jamaica on an assignment from God, like go and play at Reggae Sunsplash. And we had time to stay there like 7 months to do
Wow.
research, work with all the people, and teach them some African history and play African music.
Okay. There was also this, exhibition of Ghanaianness that I saw from your band as well. I mean, the way you dressed, the way you spoke, the music itself, right? And even some of the instruments that you used was like, yes, we see you're Africans, but it goes beyond just Africans. There was a Ghanaianness as well. Was that intentional? Was that deliberate?
Yeah, I think we couldn't do difference because we were real Ghanaians. We felt real Ghanaians, although we portray Africa. But then we are not from Nigeria or Togo or Senegal. We came from Ghana. So we were like playing the kind of music, atenteben, palogo drums, dressing in the kente. Everything was more Ghanaian because we felt so, and we couldn't run away from it.
Cool.
And it's with us till now. As for me, I'm still doing it anyway.
Most definitely. That was Roots Anabo. We will still follow your journey back down till the present day as Echo Alabi Savage, going solo.
Yes, sir.
But one of your songs that really made waves in Ghana, and I believe outside Ghana as well, is the one that I'm about to play next. Let's enjoy this one and come back and speak with Echo Alabi Savage. This is Blofo Nyobi from Roots Anabo.
Right.
moon and stars. They can't take away our dignity during their occupation, taking orders from their queen. Get them and interrupt. Yeah, check, but let that, but that, Ali, Cuba, and Kuwait. Get them and interrupt. Yeah, check, but let that, but that, Cuba, and Kuwait. Your work can never make I close. So don't come daylight of your soul, but your Cause without you we're rising. We are uprising. Oh, but the evil children getting our sunshine. Don't catch a review game. Me cabo, me cabo. Me cabo, me cabo. Me cabo, me cabo. Me cabo, me cabo. Lọ́fọ́ ló bí wà dálé. Prẹ́pẹ́ náà. Lọ́fọ́ ló bí wà dálé. Prẹ́pẹ́ náà. Lọ́fọ́ ló bí wà dálé. Prẹ́pẹ́ náà. Lọ́fọ́ ló bí wà dálé. Prẹ́pẹ́ èyí wà ládàá. Truth and rights, and I come to expose. I broke the wall of the wicked woman abroad. All the things they make you, and I send them up. Put on your African clothes, my African children.
Yes, indeed. Blofunyobi from Roots Anabo. Still on the line, we have Echo Alabi Savage. Echo, let's get
Yeah.
deeper into your music. When did you release your first album? And what are some of the interesting band moments, surrounding that?
Yeah, with Roots Anabo, our first recording was, we started in Germany, late 83. Then we continued when we went to Jamaica 84, we did record about 2 tracks. The Apostolic Jazz was recorded in Cop Gong. But Blofonio Dibi Atali, we recorded it in Germany. So our first it was then cassette. We did a first single record with Apostolic Jazz. At 85 was released.
I see.
Then 86 we finished the 6 songs on a cassette, which was the only album we released as a band.
I see. And what were some of the interesting band moments? What do you remember? Stuff that gives you a sense of nostalgia. What are some of these? Can you share some with us?
Yeah, there are many, because Charlie, when we started like 82, we toured around, but the best and the most of all was going to Jamaica to play at the biggest reggae festival in the world. Now there are many reggae festivals,
But there's still just one Sunsplash, which
There's
you
one
performed
Sunsplash.
at. How did that happen? How did you get into that circuit?
That story goes like, we went to play in Munich in a jazz club. We used to go around. We play also in the jazz clubs because our reggae was not too straight like Jamaican reggae. We had, you know what I mean? We had all this good music,
Yeah.
So we had a manageress, a German lady, Heidi, who used to help us do our business, call the places, and she knew this journalist who they used to study in Munich in the mid-70s. So the guy came back to Munich for a holiday. He's called Mike Jarrett. He's now in Canada. He came back for holidays. So he read in the newspaper that there is a reggae band from Ghana playing in this Philharmony Jazz Club on this weekend. So he thought, oh, reggae? Okay, let me go there. So we always have two nights playing, like Friday and Saturday. So the guy came on Friday to see us, and then he came when we had a short break. He came to backstage, and all he said, "Awo, you guys wanna come from Yard? You know, like Jamaicans say Yard."
Yeah, man.
I said, "No, we not come from Yard, man. We come from Africa, Ghana." I said, "Oh yeah, me ready to and blah blah blah. You sound like Yardis, you know, although the music is different, but it's reggae and it has the feeling. And so, do you have a record or so?" As at that time, we had no record. So he said, "So how can you give me something to show my friends, because the Reggae Sunsplash organizers, they are my close friends. So if you guys have something, I can show it to them." So our sound engineer just said, "Okay, then we can record the show tomorrow, Saturday night. It's better anyway." So he will come, and then we give him the cassette. So he came, and then we recorded the night, and we gave it to him, and we left the next day to Berlin, and he went to Jamaica.
And the rest is history. You went
Yeah,
to...
then he knew that our manager was Heidi, who he knows Heidi from university days. So he and Heidi, communicated, and then after it was history, we were there. I mean, this happened in February '84. So all of a sudden we had the invitation, and they say June they sent us tickets, like 8, 9 tickets. We were four-piece band, our managers and 4 roadies and sound man and things. And we went to Jamaica, and the rest has been like, they never forget still. Every time they see, they say, "Well, Roots Anabo." They couldn't say the bull. Roots Anabo. What I say?
Yes, indeed. All right. But down the line, like a lot of other bands, something happens that the fans don't know anything about, and then booyah, the band goes pop. Something happened, and Roots Anabo just went off the radar. What happened?
Yeah, a lot of misunderstanding between some of the guys in the band, which has been kind of, nobody's talking about it because it never bring it back because of hatred, enviness, and things. We were with a guy from Nigeria called Kolobo. He used to play the guitar and bass, both. He used to play with Fela Kuti anyway, so we met him through Fela. So there was always fighting and pure struggle in a band. If you play in a band before, this African thing, it's always there. And then Lupese thought he would go to Ghana and start his studio recording, because he got there some Atari and some equipment, so he thought he don't want to stay in Europe no more. It's cold and herb and all kind of stuff. So he wanted to go to Africa. And me, I thought we had an impact where we should follow here and then go in and out. Keep the flow. Like go Ghana, come, because Ghana was too small, and at that time nobody. In Ghana it was only intellectuals or people who are ahead understood our music. People, not normal people, they all go.
So basically, what happened is that there was a bit of misunderstanding. Luke Pese wanted to go to Ghana, and that was it. That just collapsed the band.
That just kind of we separated.
I want you to know though that I have never forgiven you guys for that.
It's not you, man. It's me. It's thousands
Seriously.
of Ghanaians, man.
Exactly. That's my point. It's not just me. I represent a huge number of people who have never forgiven you guys for not carrying the Roots Anabo banner further. But anyhow, let's we have very small time left, but I still want us to get into your music as well. So we're gonna,
that's why we are here.
Yeah, we're gonna definitely we're gonna cut. Let's. I saw your picture with Alicia Keys. You've shared a stage with Alicia Keys, but you've also shared back in the day. You also shared the stage with heavyweights like Manu Dibango, Fela Kuti. Ziggy Marley, Osibisa, Kojo Entry, E. Kamals, Vitamin X. Wow. Third World. And then your drummer, one of your drummers was a Nigerian Kora Award winner called Ade Bantu, right?
Yeah. Ade Bantu I worked with. Ade Bantu is half German, half Nigerian, who has moved to Nigeria now since about 3 years, and he's doing good. His music is... I was there in the Easter time. I was in Ghana, and I went to Nigeria. We had a show together. He's doing well. Ade Bantu is doing well.
And then one of my favorite songs also, you did a collaboration with a Kenyan called Mariam something. Mariamu Morris, yeah, that's right.
Asante Sana.
Asante Sana. It's one of my favorite music, my favorite songs from you. Tell us, how did you take the break from Roots Anabo, and then how did you reorganize yourself into Echo Alabi Savage? Briefly.
Yeah, it was hard, because I've been working with other, like I work with Kojo Entry, I work with George Darkon, all these Ghanaian artists. I helped them produce their albums. I was playing, and somebody was telling me, hey man, you have a nice voice. You should write your music, So all of a sudden, I just had some songs, and I went to Jamaica to record 95, my very first studio solo song, Rastafo. Rastafo was recorded in Jamaica as well, with Glenn Brownie producing me. And then after, I had inspiration from my producer in Germany, who is American from Chicago. So he helped me. Then we went to the studio and started putting my songs together, lyrics, rhythms. I just kept it more African all the time, whether it's reggae, hip-hop, all the music that I loved and played, I put them together. So people say I'm a chameleon musician, a French journalist. Say your album is traveling through the world, which I love because I don't want to be stagnant and sit one place.
He calls you a chameleon, I call you camouflage. Meantime, let's have a feel of your solo project. We'll come right back to you.
Thank you.
Listeners, this is Echo Alabi Savage on a solo project, Rasta Efutu.
Hey.
Check this your Rasta advice, brother and sister. Reggae.
What's this?
Yes, Jah. Boy. Yes, Jah. We love you. Nyame. Singing so free. Biazia ye woman bayen pasa here for it bread is for so hey and we are motu mahano into Moncroft won't say masama hurricane say futu woman won't say no fight. There's too much confusion in the world. We're living in so much.
Yes, indeed. Rasta Efutu from the man Echo Alabi Savage. Echo, we have just a few minutes left. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bundle the questions together, and please try to be very brief so we can still get the essence of the whole session.
Yeah.
You have 4 kids, but you're still single. Tell us a bit about your family. King Solomon.
Charlie, the story you get them, I wonder, hey, you make research. Ali, keep inside. In Sept, where? Yeah, I'm still single. Because it's just because I've been traveling, and every time I have a partner or a relationship, I have to travel. I have to move. I've never met somebody who I can cope with yet. Going on tour, coming back, coming. At the moment, I'm playing with two different bands. I play with Ebo Taylor, who comes from Ghana. And
Legendary Ebo Taylor was my lecturer in the University of Ghana as well. He's a superstar. But anyways, what's cooking now? What should we be looking forward to from Echo Alabi Savage?
Yeah, at the moment we finished. I was co-producing with a friend, Uncle Bo's music. So at the moment we are touring since 2 years now. We're touring worldwide, Japan, Brazil, all over Europe. We never come to America yet. So I'm doing that, but also I'm in the studio recording my next album, which the finishing touches will be at the end of the year.
I cannot wait for that. I definitely can't wait for that. Now let me use the last minute to ask you a question which I ask every artist that I interview on this program.
Yeah.
Do you think African reggae is legitimate? Are we copycatting, or do you think African reggae is actually legitimate? Is that why you probably shy away from calling your music reggae and call it Sun Life?
Yeah, I mean, we call our music Sun Life long time because we had a problem with, like, if you are not a Jamaican, then you don't play reggae in
That's
Europe,
right.
where we play. So if you can't get better gigs because the Jamaicans come, Luciano, everybody come and they play. But since we started playing our style of reggae, we stand out. So everybody here is not the Jamaican reggae, it's reggae from Africa. And then, like, God So Good, there's been Alpha Blondie, who we met 84 in Jamaica. Then, as at that time, he was recording Coco D Rock.
Yeah.
And then Lucky Dube came out, and
Yeah.
some more Africans doing the. So, I mean, reggae, and now we have Rocky Daouni.
And all of that.
All of us. Plenty reggae all over.
Okay.
Good. Reggae from Africa is happening.
Echo Alabi Savage, 100 gun salute.
Yes, sir.
I want to assure you that your name is definitely in the annals of Ghanaian music and African music for that matter, and world music, because it's all part of the integral whole. Thank you so much for making time with us today, and definitely your music will be playing on this platform. And we're also waiting to see you in America. You haven't, toured America yet. Anytime you want to tour America, make sure you stop by the studios of Sahara FM Radio, and let's have a first-hand feel of you. Thank you so much.
Yes, Gracie. Thank you too, brother. And I say one love to all the people who are listening to your station. They should keep the dial on, Sahara FM Radio are the best, Rasta.
Definitely. Give thanks, Ras. We'll talk to you soon.
One love, yeah?
Yes,
okay.
people.
I'll call you on your phone. Yeah.
For sure. We'll talk behind the scenes.
Okay, later.
All right, people. This has been Echo Alabi Savage, a true legend of his time. Until next week, this is Conscious Vibes. And next week, we are more likely to return to the talk and everything. Have fun. See you next week. We leave you with the sounds of Roots Anabo. This one is called the Atentebeng Dub.